episode 2, a Major League podcast of our own, their own, whatever you want to call it. It's really weird hosting this show and saying that title and just having to say it how it's, TJ, it's weird. I got to get used to it. But TJ, there he is. What's going on, my co-host? Welcome back to our MLW podcast. Man, what a week it's been for you and I on the channel, debuting this show and the Ace Austin interviews drop. My man, though, Super Showcase Comic-Con is come and gone. You went, all that good stuff. How you been? Where can everyone catch you? All that stuff.
No, I've been good. Yeah, Showcase Comic-Con, where we had the X Division champion Ace Austin. Got the interview with him for you. I was super fucking nervous about that. Actually, I had to restart the podcast like 3 times. The first time I said TNA instead of Impact, and I was like, shit, let me restart. And then I didn't restart right, and we were talking for about 5 minutes, and I realized we weren't recording. And I was like, hey, everybody stop. Let's start again. But then we got it right after that time. But no, he was a super chill guy, really, really, really cool. He had a good time. Yeah, you can find me at lawmance_ on Twitter. No more Gizmo Duck. I'm straight up single white femaling you with my new avatar picture.
By the way, I didn't know you were chilling with Cody and the boys now. Speaking of your Twitter title, y'all in?
Oh yeah, you never noticed that? That's been Gizmo Duck is all elite with the whatever face for a while.
I noticed it, but the listeners might not have noticed it. They need to know every aspect of you, TJ. They need to know that you're all in with Cody and the boys.
Oh yeah, we're all good.
No,
the cloud. I can reach out to them anytime, and they're gonna be there for me.
Exactly. If you want to start your own fucking wrestling brewery tomorrow, they got you covered, man. Financially, you got it. You got to give you tips, all that stuff. In all seriousness, man, shout out, tremendous, huge, means the fucking world. Thank you to Ace Austin, the biggest thing to happen for the channel, but that is not all. Coming up next week on The Alternative right here on the channel, our AEW show, me and Colin look for the outlandish, the brand new NWA television champion, Zicky Dice, is coming to the channel. My God, what a month it's shaping up to be. New shows, guests, all kind of zaniness. And speaking of zaniness, that is the only thing that can come to mind when describing the way this episode of Fusion kicked off, TJ. Before we do that, real quick, on Twitter at the HibickyTMD. Can you tell I'm excited to be doing an MLW show now? My God, I'm all over the place. At the HibickyTMD. ProWrestlingJournal.com. Thank you to Drew and all the fantastic writers for having us here. If it happened in a ring, they're your thing. The most eclectic group of writers assembled. Every promotion basically covered. What are you waiting for? ProWrestlingJournal.com. And if you're checking us out right here, HibickyTMD on YouTube, that red motherfucking goddamn button right down below, hit it for all the goodness. Retro gaming, pro wrestling, heavy metal podcasts, and every nerdy thing in between. Woo! I think I covered all the bases, TJ. MLW Fusion from the ECW Arena. What?
Oh yeah, this is the first of the Philly shows. They finally wrapped up the Dallas shows.
Yeah, that was a stretch too. It seemed like forever. It was kind of like what's going on in NXT UK now. Cheap plug to Union Smack. They've been taping in York, England, and it seemed like it's been 6 months. Sometimes. I don't fully hate tape shows in wrestling, but sometimes especially when they're 1 hour episodes, it can feel like an eternity.
Oh yeah. Definitely agree there.
Thankfully, though, like you said on episode 1 of this show last week, it's never in order. Fusion is always put together and produced out of order from how it actually went down live. And I'm sure this show was no different, but I'm pretty sure, I'm going to guess that this segment at the beginning of this week's episode of Fusion kicked off the entire set of tapings just because of A, the amount of talent that appeared, B, just the insanity, the streamline, like segment to segment to segment. And while watching this, I picked up why they did it this way, because I don't remember MLW kind of kicking off a show like this and maybe ever. It was in the ECW arena. This was how every ECW pay-per-view started, if you remember, TJ. I don't know if you ever watched ECW a lot, but it was always this flow to flow to flow segment thing, just like they did here, to a T.
Yeah, you know what? I never even thought about that. That's a really good point.
It's a nice subtle nod, very nice subtle nod. I don't know who is officially the head booker of MLW right now. Because I have no clue.
Court Bauer? I have no idea. It's not Jim Cornette anymore.
We really got our shit together, guys. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah.
No, I really don't. I want to say Court Bauer too, maybe with some Conan mixed in, helping.
I would see Conan with the amount that he comes out there and helps out.
Well, it's half his fucking talent too, isn't it? Basically, I don't know, but yeah,
let's go Conan.
Yeah. Let's just say Conan. Whoever's booking this,
we'll correct that for the next episode.
Whoever's booking this, they don't just do it in Philly. It seems like every city they go in, Chicago's coming up, but especially in Dallas, they had a very old school WCCW style feel to it, booking wise, and I feel like they kind of cater to what city they're in, and it works because of the demographic.
Oh yeah. I agree with that. I actually, you know what? Now that you brought that up, I didn't really even notice that. But because I just been watching MLW and just watching it to watch it, I never really put it together with the area that we're at and the way it's booked. You know?
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those things. I guess you get osmosis, or you just catch it and you're just, it clicks. You're like, hey, wait a minute, I'm figuring these guys out. This, I will say, the thumbnail for this week's episode of Fusion on YouTube will definitely throw you off. Especially, it's kind of felt like they've been slow burning LA Park's return, but I feel like they just totally shoehorned him in. Like, oh, he's back, poof, all that for nothing.
Yeah, and then like we were saying before about the match order and everything, they had that as the main. Well, jumping ahead of ourselves, they had that as the main event for tonight. But you know, the subsequent shows that are going to be shown on television, who knows what else happens with LA Park? There could be he could have a match with Brian Pillman where they absolutely kill each other. You know?
Yeah. What did you think of the way this week's episode kicked off with more of the same Contra vignette, talking about building up to the main event once again?
I pretty much ignored the Contra vignette.
I'm sick of them. Every week they kick off episodes like this.
It is, and they just say the same thing. We're a Contra unit. We're going to do stuff. I'm Joseph Samael. I have a spike, and I blow fire. That's cool. Have fun.
Yeah, even though every shot they put Fatu in, he looks like a killer. These are old and played out now. Like, we get it. You're here. You know, it's Simon fucking Gotch. I mean, I'm sorry. I try. Jacob Fatu is awesome. The mouthpiece is awesome, but it's Simon Gotch, and I get it. He's trying to reinvent himself, but I don't feel like it's working in this role for me. Gotta be honest.
He's one of the vaudevillains.
Not anymore.
You know, I talked to him a couple of months ago, and I was like, I was a little drunk, and I said, "Hey, do you miss being one of the vaudevillains?" He going, "Fuck no."
Wow, you would think that he was like all in for that, like put his heart and soul into that gimmick with English.
No, not at all.
Goes to show you. He couldn't wait to shave that fucking mustache off then about.
You should do that mustache.
I actually want to keep making love to my girlfriend. So that's why I'm not going to do that. But after this, the opening and all that about the main event tonight, this show kicked off with like we said, shenanigans. The Dynasty, the new version of Dynasty, MJF-less. His last show was in the Dallas tapings. He did the honors. He took the pin to the Von Erichs. What do you... We got to address the elephant in the room with this, man. Is it already sadly noticeable MJF's not there?
No, not at all.
Because I got it
in
a little
opinion,
bit.
no.
I got it a little bit. I was like, man, he was just such a prominent figure in that group. You know what I mean? Like, he was the leader. Let's just say it is. It's rough to get used to that. But I can see Hammerstone, like we've talked about off air, even just before we even decided on doing a fucking show, how we can kind of see when they split, Hammerstone will kind of be the babyface guy, you know?
I think the dynamic between Holiday and Hammerstone, with Holiday being like the head of Dynasty, I think it works. I think those two guys have such great chemistry with each other. I don't think you need MJF.
I hope we don't. I hope because Gino Medina, like, as far as the mic, I mean, yes, the look, and he can work, and he looks aesthetically like he fits, but for a group like this, a cocky heel group, not being the best at the English language, being so-so in promos, is that a good thing, good place to be? Well, I guess time will tell, you know.
Well, I think with him is maybe they'll start building up his legacy a little bit more about where he came from. I mean, they kind of touched on it a little bit with when Conan came out, And I mean, that could be like a part of being in the dynasty is having like a really good legacy, you know?
Yeah. Dynasty cutting a typical Dynasty heel promo, bragging about being the champion of Puerto Rico, stealing Savio Vega's belt, which is a line I thought I'd never say in the year 2020. Interrupted by Conan, all by his lonesome with the slapjack, his sock full of quarters, coming out to the ring, trying to spit some fire back in their face. It looked like they were going to jump him. Hammerstone grabbed a chair. By the way, great crowd play by Hammerstone in this. My God. My God. Before Conan even came out, just like you said, the chemistry with him and Holiday, it was good shit. The Muscle Mountain reference, all that. But yeah, Conan comes out, starts talking shit. Looks like he's going to get jumped. Who shall come to save the day, TJ? Your boy.
I'm gonna try to do the music. Wow, wow, wow. The Southern Psychopath, Mance Warner, with Savio Vega and Logan Creed. They come out to back up old Conan. Make sure that he don't get his ass kicked.
All right. It's time. It's excuse me, it's time to get negative for the first part of the show. Logan Creed, huge guy, great look. What the fuck is the deal with the outfit? It's what? What is this? I'm sorry.
I knew you were gonna bring this up.
I can't.
He looks like a poor man Luke Gallows to me.
He looks like DLC alternate costume pack for like a Mortal Kombat character, like Kano's alternate attire you got to buy or something shitty. I don't know. It just looks so fucking cheesy and Comic-Con and cosplay, and I don't even think in the 80s this would have came off cool. This might have been up there with some Max Moon type lameness. You know, lameness isn't even a word, but it is now.
It's pretty bad. I don't like it.
And the sad part is there's tons of potential there.
Oh, he's a big, huge guy. He's got I mean, even during this match that we'll get to, he flies. He hits hard.
Yeah.
But his look is just, it's crap.
Now, for a while initially, he was heel when he first came in out of WWE. He was like the hired gun for Dynasty, right? But now he hasn't been a babyface for that long. But even at the Dallas tapings, you guys weren't really getting into him at all in the babyface, you know, big shit kicker role. It's got to be the appearance. Because, I mean, just him, if you took this guy and put him out there, and I know this sounds petty to judge it on appearance, but it's pro wrestling. It's not like baseball where everyone's wearing, no, this shit's important in pro wrestling more than people realize. If you go out there and he dresses like Damian Priest or some shit like that, now we're talking. Now I can see people getting into him. But with this, my kids wouldn't even think this is cool. You know, like.
No, that's exactly right. I mean, shit, when he came out to at the Dallas shows, we didn't even know who he was. Because most of those shows that he was getting promoted in, they hadn't aired yet. So it was like, okay, here's a guy. He's a big guy. Cool. And now he's not with the people he was with. Okay, cool. Thanks.
I don't know. I feel like either way, whatever he's wearing, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because whether Hunter's watching MLW or Cody's watching MLW, because you know they both are, because they always got their finger on the pulse of what's coming up. You know Logan Creed's a guy. Both of those guys probably want a year or two, for sure.
Oh, I would think so too, but they would definitely need to do something with his gimmick and his attire, and yeah, definitely.
But this was old Mansa coming out talking shit back to Dynasty with this cooler of beer and all the goodness, and pretty much calling him out to have a 6-man tag on the spot. They did not accept. Richard Holiday kind of said "fuck you." They started to walk off. All of a sudden, Mansa interrupted and singled out Hammerstone, which now we're talking. Now I was intrigued. We got some.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
What did you think of this?
Oh yeah. That's my two boys. It's my two favorites.
I love this, how he called him, and it made sense booking-wise, and how this is where I saw some seeds planted in a babyface role for Hammerstone right here, Speak of the Devil, where it was kind of pride and bravado where he showcased here over just the rest of his group being pussies, essentially, and running off.
Exactly. Yeah, Holiday and Gino were all like, no, screw this, we're out. Holiday was like, no. They skedaddled. Hammerstone's getting out. Mancher goes and like calls him out basically, and of course Hammerstone, typical heel, would just leave and flip him off and go away. But Hammerstone's like, no, you called me out, and then they go at it, and that was awesome.
Yeah, And then from there, it was pretty much a standard 6-man tag where I feel like all the baby faces got at least sequence to get their shit in. Even Savio got his standard traditional spin kick in, and the crowd popped. What'd you think of the match, how it played out, and where we're going from here?
No, overall, I think it was a really good match. I mean, like a lot of, like you were saying, like a lot of these like 6-man tag matches, especially in MLW, they start off as brawls, and then it eventually settles down, and then you actually get an actual match out of it. And the heels do the heel stuff, the faces do the face stuff, and then it ends in a heelish way to where Holiday takes the Caribbean belt, and who did he knock out with?
Savio.
He knocked out Savio. Pin 1, 2, 3. It keeps the rivalry going, and I think this is going to be a good rivalry. Even though, like we've said before, there's too many damn factions. But I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. This whole first 25 minutes of MLW was just absolutely incredible, in my opinion.
Just like ECW. How fitting.
Yes.
And this is pretty much a paint by numbers, this entire match in the finish. A paint by numbers, the right way, I guess, at the end of the day, to do a 6-man tag. Because Savio eating that pin made the most sense, too. He was the most established guy. He had nothing really to lose. You know, you want to build up Mansoor and Logan Creed as much as you can. And so they didn't get hurt by eating the pin. That made sense. Yeah, but where we went after this, of course, the babyface is getting their shine back and all that. And Conan coming in and blah, blah, blah.
And real quick, to go back to Logan Creed, I was noticing in the match, he had a lot of the bigger spots. So it looked like MLW was really trying to push him and get him over. Like with the double choke slam that he did to Gino and Hammerstone, and then the suicide dive he did to the outside. It seemed like a lot of the bigger spots were to him to try to get the pops for him.
Did you notice even in the main event lumberjack match, they took the time, at least once or twice, to put it right on Logan Creed zoomed in for no reason?
Yes, I did notice that.
I was like, what? Hey, Logan Creed, welcome back.
Yep.
Yeah, I was fine with this match, like you said. It's not going to set your world on fire, but it did what it needed to do. And then we move on, no break, nothing. Same guys, Conan just kind of out there. You know, everyone celebrated with Old Mansoor and the beers and stuff. By the way, everyone's going to get so sick of me saying Old Mansoor, so strap in.
We got to forget that Conan slapjacked Gino.
Yeah.
And then they take him out.
He did it like a bitch, too, like Pearl Harbor style. Like, come here. Like, he just kind of ran in and did it before.
Yeah. And so when they're limping out, then they have like a stone cold type of beer bash in the ring, and then everybody leaves, and Conan's just like, hey, I'm going to stick around and talk to people.
I'm going to do it right here, episode 2, man. It's something I feel like it's going to come up a lot on the show because it's something that, and you're the only person besides myself I really get a chance to talk to about MLW with. I feel like the comparisons with Steve Austin from Mance Warner is the best and worst thing that could happen to him. And I'll tell you why.
I agree.
Because we've longed for this type of character for so long, right? But now that you got it, he's always going to be immediately compared to Austin and be a poor man's version. People not getting who Mance. It's spun a different way. On paper, I could see people kind of brushing it off, but if you give his character 5 minutes, it's not. I look at it more like if the Sandman and Steve Austin had a baby. As gross as a mental image as that is, that's Mance Warner in a way.
I can see that. I like that comparison better. But yeah, you're right. It almost says like with the beer and the brash talk, and I hate to say it because Mansoor is one of my favorites, that he does come up as like a poor man's Steve Austin, which he really doesn't. I don't know. It's difficult, you know.
It's more like he's like a lost Briscoe brother.
I can see that.
You know, it's the same fucking thing. It's a Briscoe at the end of the day, and I love the Briscoes as a team. Yeah. But after this, when they had their little beer bash and celebrating, Conan was kind of just trailing off. Okay, we talked about there's so many stables, right? But what is it about MLW naming so many stables after fucking video games? Contra, Injustice, what's next? Final Fantasy? What are they going to do next? Injustice comes out for no fucking reason to interrupt Conan, TJ.
I did not understand this. I mean, I guess it was kind of like the young guys coming out to talk shit to the old guy, and I mean, there was some good shit talking there. But other than that, it was like, why is this happening? I didn't get it.
What did Conan say after a? By the way, everyone's saying that MJF's the best modern heel in wrestling. You merely should check out Oliver in this because he just has maybe the most punchable face in wrestling besides the Miz. You just want to punch it till there's no face left.
Oh, he does.
Really does.
He does.
And the voice combined with it, he's kind of like a male Vicky Guerrero. Like everything about him is such a good heel. Like you just hate this fucking guy. You know.
He sounds like a Muppet Baby.
He does.
One of the Muppet Babies. I can't think of which one, but he sounds like one of the Muppet Babies.
But he came out and started talking shit to Conan for being old and said like when he sweats it's dust and shit. And then Conan fired back like if you were in prison they'd trade you for Twinkies and be raped.
Exactly.
Like and be raped or something. Like whoa, Jesus Christ. But yeah. And then, it looks like they're gonna beat the shit out of Conan. And another hero, a white knight, comes to save the day. Brian Pillman Jr.
Who comes out? Your boy here.
Brian Pillman Jr. with his rocking 90s music and all, coming out with the steel chair, clearing house, injustice kind of. I've never understood that, why multiple guys run, even if one guy, like if I had like 3 or 4 of my friends with me and one guy had a bat, I still wouldn't run. Somebody could get the bat out of his hand.
Oh, easily.
But LOL wrestling, right?
Yeah, pro wrestling. Come on, man. I don't think too much in it.
Yeah, exactly. What did you think of, where do you think I feel like it's a great thing to finally get the belt off Myron Reed, because it's not that I don't like him. I just don't think he's ready to be in that position. He's so young. He needs to be seasoned more. And I think Pillman Jr. is definitely ready for any title right now.
Well, I think they're definitely sowing the seeds for a Pillman, Myron Reed feud. But later on in the match, I think there is an added complication.
Yeah.
That goes to it just being the two of them.
The Monterey Kid. Or what's his name?
Laredo Kid.
The Monterey Kid.
The Monterey Kid. What the hell is that?
He's from the land of cheese, TJ. Yeah. The Laredo Kid, man. He's, you know what? One of the coolest masks I've ever seen. Ever. I love the design of it. He looks like a green bean.
Like a green bean?
I don't know. I just like how the back like wraps around. I think Laredo Kid's mask is pretty legit.
That's not bad.
His partner Zenshi, who, man, it's rough. I don't like the name, and I feel like there's a star under that mask when I'm watching Zenshi work. I feel like this guy doesn't need a mask.
I agree. I mean, that guy can do some Young Buck style better than the Young Bucks.
From Santiago, Chile, too.
Yep.
You know what else is kind of badass about him? He comes out to a Wu-Tang song remixed. Did you notice that?
No, I'm not a big Wu-Tang guy.
Oh, anyone that is, it's song off 36 Chambers remix, Zenshi's theme. And they do that a lot in MLW. They use like copyrighted shit. They'll just like use an instrumental version. You know?
Well, that's why they get away with it on YouTube then, because it's not the actual lyrics and shit.
I think a big thing a lot of people don't realize with MLW either, especially in a Injustice promo, is the cussing.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, if you watch it on BN, it's all censored. If you watch it on YouTube, you get the full effect.
See, I don't think a lot of people even know it's uncensored on YouTube because not enough of you are even watching MLW. What are you doing?
Exactly. Come on, man.
Come on, man. To coin old Manser. Come on, man. Yeah, what are you doing? Get on it. Watch MLW. Don't judge it by this week's main event, but we'll get there. But this tag match, Zenshi and the Monterey Kid going against
Monterey Kid, yeah.
Yeah, going against Injustice. What do you think of this?
I mean, it was whatever. It was a typical like high flying match. I mean, there was stuff happening. I got confused about who was actually supposed to be in the ring and who wasn't, and that's kind of a gripe I've had with MLW tag matches in general. Is who's actually supposed to be in the damn ring?
Yeah, my biggest criticism about any of the in-ring talent, from what I've seen since my time watching MLW, are the referees. There's no enforcing of rules when there's obviously a 5 count when two guys on a team are in. There's none of that. I literally, during this match in the main event, saw the fucking ref stand in the corner and just let him go at it and not a care in the world. And I was like, I could just picture Jim Cornette or somebody screaming at the television watching this, because I was kind of screaming on the inside. And when I'm watching a wrestling match, and this is why I agree with those old school fucking guys who say that, when they're so critical of shit like this, it made me focus on the ref. And that's the last thing I should be focusing on, because it was so noticeable that after a while, like you said, the ref just doesn't give a shit about the rules.
Oh, exactly. Because it's like he's not doing anything. It's like, who the fuck is supposed to be in this match?
Yep.
Who is supposed to be fighting? Why? I'm just gonna go straight to the pin. Why was the finish Jordan Oliver doing some sort of a stunner off the rope while Cotto Brazil had him in a crucifix, and then they both pin him?
Yeah.
Who's the actual legal guy in the match?
What is this fucking Doink and his midget clowns pinning Jerry Lawler at fucking SummerSlam? What is this? I'm with you. I noticed that too. I was like, what is this? That was the icing on the cake, actually, watching this shit. I was like, that's it. Jesus Christ. By the way, that cutter that Oliver does, he actually does it as his finisher. It may be one of the greatest wrestling finisher names ever. It's called the Clout Cutter.
The Clout Cutter. Oh, I like that.
It is nice. It is nice.
That is pretty damn cool. You need to get him on the show just for that name, so you can talk about it.
Who knows what the future holds for this show? Try to reach out to certain talent. See what happens. It's either way, it's fun. To have guys on like Ace Austin and guys like Pete Dunne and just people to shoot the shit about the business, blah blah blah.
But the thing about the match is, it's like, yeah, I don't want to get too much like I'm like everything needs to be perfect. But it's little shit like that. It's like, come on. I'm not going to hate on it, but just be a little bit cleaner, please.
I mean, I've been watching wrestling since I was like 5 years old, right? It's just my family always watched it. So it's, even if I didn't want to watch it, I get osmosis from that, right? I'm at a point now where like I notice in a tag match where guys aren't holding the tag rope, and that pisses me off. So when I get to that extent, I'm like, wait a minute, Travis, you need to chill. You've gotten bad with
yeah.
But yeah, it's just little things like that irk the shit out of me. Yeah, the match though, like you said, Injustice got the win. After the match, though, Injustice went out, started, because Pillman was on commentary for this, by the way. He sounds like Lance Storm. It's really weird hearing him on this.
Well, he trained with him, didn't he?
Yeah. But still, do you have to talk just like your trainer after they train you?
Sure.
Is that the criteria?
Sure. That's why Manser sounds like Stone Cold. He trained with him. That's not true at all, but go with it.
They started talking shit to Pillman Jr. at the announce booth. Out of nowhere, the Laredo Kid with like a tope takes them all out. I love the way it kind of came out of nowhere, because it was very just amateur style shooting with the camera, and that's something that's missing in WWE too. Not everything has to be $1 million fucking dollar camera shot. You know what I mean? It's like, I miss that organic, fucking gritty, dirty. I'm gonna say it again. I'm sorry, guys. Just like ECW in this segment.
Well, even now that you say it again, more that I'm thinking about it is like this was like an ECW type of show.
Yeah, totally.
You hit the nail on the head with that one earlier.
This was essentially to get shine on the Laredo Kid by the end of this, more than Pillman Jr. And it makes sense if they're going to need contenders for the title. I'd go with it. I think there's a lot to work with. This guy's got something. I mean, it can't hurt. That's why we're here. It's MLW.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier, because after Laredo Kid took them all out, he takes out Myron Reed and holds the belt.
Yep.
So it's kind of like, are we setting up? I mean, Pillman was good with both of them after, but are we setting up, some sort of feud between the three, where Pillman's gonna join up with Laredo Kid and Zenshi and go after Injustice, and then it builds to like Pillman, Laredo Kid, and Myron for the middleweight championship. I don't know. That's kind of the way I saw it, though.
I'd love to see him do another heel run with Pillman Jr. I think he's an underrated heel. My only complaint in this, when Laredo Kid held the belt and celebrated like it was his afterwards, I feel like they should have booked it where that pissed Pillman Jr. off, and you could see the tension, like the camera would shoot on him, like, wait a minute, I was in here for this, like, blah, blah, blah. And this was like the seeds planted to turn him heel again. But I mean, you could go either way. The people love him. You know what I mean? I just like him as a heel.
Well, I mean, it could be a slow burn. It could be, yeah, hey, I'm cool with you right now, Laredo Kid. We're going to be friends. And I'm going to turn my ass on you. And that's my damn belt.
Because I feel like they got to shift, and obviously they're doing that now. They're shifting the course of the boat with Teddy Hart's departure for now.
Yeah.
You know.
His departure for now is departure forever.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't want to be as depressing about it, but there you go. You know.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I had to say it.
That's why you're here. I don't even know what that means. After this, where did that take us here? Was that done with the train rolling on of segments?
No, they went to Alicia doing a interview with Team Filthy.
So finally, after 25 minutes into the episode, we finally get another segment, and it was Stripper Hat, Tom Lawler, and his crew, Eric Stevens. And you know what? I like that for now. It's gonna make him a better babyface endgame if that's the plan, because I always feel like the best baby faces always start heel first. You know.
Well, apparently he's not a part of Team Filthy.
He's a hired mercenary.
He's a hired mercenary. He's there to do whatever he needs to do.
Was this fucking Commando now? He's fucking mercenary.
Yeah, exactly. He's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I tell you what, we said on episode 1, stop letting Dominic talk. Why? Why are you doing this? It's my life.
No, he talked. I didn't even realize.
Sometimes I wish I were you. I wish I didn't realize it, and I just have no recollection. It was awful. It was every time he talked. It's just like, hey, why are you doing it?
I blanked it out. I just remember Tom Lawler talking shit about Texas, and then Eric Stevens saying he's a hired gun.
Tell you
and
what,
then I was looking at Alicia Toot the most. So, I mean, I got kind of distracted.
I tell you what, even watching this has nothing to do with the actual promo. Even watching Eric Stevens stand next to Tom Lawler, you can just see Tom Lawler is just still so much bigger, and just, man, he's still my guy. As much as I love Jacob Fatu, I feel like they should have stretched his heel run as champ out a little longer, because he's so fucking believable, and he can talk mad shit, and he's such a good promo naturally. It all just works for me. Him, besides Holiday and Hammerstone, they got to be my top 3 guys. Throw in some Fatu. There's just so much talent here, untapped right now. It's crazy.
Oh, I think Tom Lawler is amazing. I mean, I'll throw back to Dallas when I was there. That crowd hated him during the match.
And he eats that shit up, and that makes the best fucking heels.
Exactly.
I'm really digging what they're doing with Team Filthy and just the whole shebang, and just give me more of this Tom Lawler, please. I didn't hate him as the babyface champ, but he came off, couldn't be himself fully. I think that was the issue, you know?
Oh, he's so much better as a heel.
Yeah.
100% agree with that.
Even though I do miss the filthy long locks a little bit, but I'll get over it.
Eventually.
More or less talking shit on Texas. They hate everything about Texas. Eric Stevens hates Texas toast. He hates Texas everything. That was funny as shit.
That was hilarious. I was laughing at that.
Stevens and Lawler were totally fine in this, but just less Dominic. My only complaint. Yeah. That'd take us to next. I feel like we had more in-ring action.
Now, next we actually had we just to like set up the Los Parks and the Contra fight. They had a background of that. It's not even worth talking about. Showing about how they beat up El Hijo and the match that Jacob Fatu had with LA Park, and which was an awesome match, by the way. If y'all haven't seen that pay-per-view, you'll need to go back and watch that, because that was incredible. But it was just a little vignette. But right after that, Killer Cross.
Oh, yeah.
They had a Killer Cross promo.
Like a
which
teaser
was interesting.
Thing. It's the one they've been showing for the past couple of weeks, and
knowing that he signed with WWE, and go ahead.
Oh, my fault. It cut out for a second. No, I'm just saying. We said last week we know he's already with WWE, but they're probably gonna let him fulfill at least 1 or 2 dates. I feel like for MLW, because they've had plenty of time to edit this out if they can't use him. I feel like.
No, exactly. So I mean, that's exactly what I was thinking. It was like, I'm guessing for all y'all who were like, oh, Killer Cross is going to show up right away. I think you won't see him until after you see him do his, I'm pretty sure, a one shot with MLW.
Yeah. You will be seeing Scarlett Bordeaux, though. My God.
Oh, shit, sooner rather than later.
The Smoke Show. The most fitting name ever, maybe, possibly. Anyway, that's another podcast. After this, it was cut to the Von Erichs, right? With Alicia too.
You had, right before that, you had a promo with Havoc and Kelly.
Oh, that's right.
Havoc and Kelly, where they're promoting his match with Pillman at the next show, which is MLW 100. It was just the same old type of like Jimmy Havoc talk. I'm gonna kill you, acid rain, blah blah blah.
I'm gonna do it again. This promo was shot like it was EC fucking W in front of a garage door. The zooming in and out, the low budget. They did it again.
Yes, exactly.
Like, what is it? The Nirvana shirt? Is that Tommy Dreamer cutting up? Who the fuck is wearing the Nirvana shirt? What's going on?
I was waiting for Man in the Box to start playing.
Right? Is that Beulah? No, that's not even close. Yeah, this was just, this was a very toned down to the point Jimmy Havoc. For nothing here, just promote next week. It's crazy that the 100th episode of theirs is a third of ours. We just missed it for making it episode 1.
That'd have been pretty cool.
Either way, I'm looking forward to the first time ever, Pillman and Havoc. Hopefully Pillman can get an actual wrestling match out of Jimmy Havoc. We'll see. Now I think it was Von Erichs.
Or will it be a death match? Yeah, Von Erichs. And that was kind of like, don't mess with Texas. I mean, that's the...
Yeah. This was very
I don't think there's anything more to it.
Yeah, very bare bones to the point. Nothing at all, really, except we're going to get you for Texas, basically, like you said.
Yeah.
I believe it's main event time.
It is main event time.
The Nintendo Entertainment System Contra going up against
Los Parks.
Father and son.
Match.
A lot of people don't even know that La Parka wrestles with his son. And this is the father-son tag team. I'm getting Dusty Rhodes 1990 WWF vibes, where like it was one more, into the sunset, and his last match is tagging with his son. It all feels very reminiscent of that Dusty run. But Dusty never did corkscrew fucking planches like LA Park. That's for sure.
No, he didn't. At least not on TV. He did it like in training and shit.
Yeah. With Dick Murdoch. That's who taught him. But this match was very fucking slow.
It was blah.
It was painful because at first LA Park could not even get his goddamn jacket off. It took 5 minutes, it felt like, TJ. And I feel like Gotch literally had to help him.
They all were helping him. I was rewatching it, and I was like, wait, no, they're all just trying to help him get his jacket off. They're not even, like, beating him up. They're just helping him get his jacket off. They were, like, beating him up beforehand. They were like, oh, let's help you get your jacket off. It was like, what the fuck is going on?
For people that have been a subscriber to this channel for a while, just follow me on Twitter or whatever, you know that La Parka is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. And this was the first chance I've ever gotten in almost 6 years to ever review a match with LA Park, La Parka in it, whatever you want to call him. And I get this. He couldn't get his jacket off. I'm still on that. It's just, Jesus Christ, guys, go out of your way to, I'm sure it'll be on Botchamania soon. It's got to be, right?
I mean, it was, I didn't realize it when I was watching it initially, but then when I was watching it, I was like, they're just all sitting there trying to get his jacket off of him because he can't get it off. It's incredible.
And they showed shots of like, what is it, fucking, oh God, who was on the outside? Oh my God, it was somebody. They just looked disgusted. They're like, they tried to get the camera off of LA Park so he get his jacket off, and whoever just looked disgusted. It was one of the guys in the match. Maybe it was Gotch. I don't know. Other than that, this was basically LA Park's son doing the work in some slow rest holds, elbows, punches, kicks, little glimpse of hope spot from La Parka's son with like a tope kick in the corner. It all felt like 15 minutes of build to LA Park doing a tope dive off the top rope to get the pin. The Lumberjacks, by the way, I forgot. By the way, it's a Lumberjack match. Did you forget? Because obviously the guys in the match did, because I feel like we went almost 10 minutes into this match and the Lumberjacks never did a thing. Nobody was ever thrown to the outside. They worked it like a normal goddamn match.
Simon Gotch got thrown to the outside, and they started beating him up and threw him back in. And then El Hijo, he got thrown to the outside, and they helped him up to put him back in. And they kind of had a little confrontation with Injustice wanted to go there and beat him up. And then all the other Lumberjacks were like, no, fuck off. We're going to help him back in the ring. Y'all just go do whatever it is you want to do. And then I was expecting this match to be like a complete, total, insane brawl. And it wasn't.
I thought Jacob Fatu was going to be in the match when I first saw the thumbnail, but at the beginning of the show, they didn't say it, but they said it without saying it that he wasn't going to be, because they only focused on these two guys. But still, wow. I mean, as much as they've tried to build LA Park coming back and just, for some reason, because I'm sorry, I'm with you kind of too. As much as I like the match with Fatu, with LA Park, I'm not invested in that feud at all anymore. I'm over it, and I just stop. I just stop stringing it along. Nobody cares.
No, it's too long ago, and the Contra Unit's feuded with like everybody since then. So it's like, who cares?
Honestly, if you listen to the crowd, and I know he has people that don't like him, and I know he has people that love him, I think people want Pillman Jr. I think the people are ready for that kid. I know that's a stretch, and I know that's a Babe Ruth calling a shot, but I feel like you could put the MLW title on him tomorrow, and people would eat the shit up, and we'd get more buzz on MLW right now. And as much as we're fans of Jacob Fatu, I don't feel like Jacob Fatu's that water cooler talk guy right now that's going to make people turn away from NXT, AEW, the main roster, fucking NWA, New Japan. There's so much goddamn wrestling, you know?
I will agree with Jacob Fatu not being that guy. I will not agree with you on it being Pillman, because I will go with my boy Hammerstone. Always.
I think the only reason, and I'm with you with him being a top guy, but I feel like just to get that attention and get some buzz going, Hammerstone's dad wasn't a WCW legend, and I feel like the casuals and just the people that think they know fucking everything but really don't know dick all, and they'll just see the name Brian Pillman, that's immediately going to get them to turn ahead.
Yeah, I can see
business
that,
standpoint. Like the mark in me wants to book Hammerstone with all the belts, you know, like I'm with you, you know.
But so overall, what did you think of this show?
The beginning was excellent, but I feel like by the end of it, it was a totally different show. Totally night and day. I would give the first half of the show a solid B, maybe a B plus. The other half, man, I got to give C minus, if that. That's being gracious.
Yeah, I gotta give the first half of the show a B plus, and the back half of the show a D. Honestly, I mean, I honestly after that first 25 minutes, I was pretty much spent. So much cool shit happened, you know.
You could have just made that the episode. To be totally honest, you could have just stretched that out, thrown those vignettes of like the Von Erichs that came later on in the show, and just stretched that out to go the whole hour. Maybe throw another match in there, like a high-paced match, an attention span catch match or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Main event, so disappointing, god damn it, but it is what it is. What's done is done, cannot be undone. Next week, 100's getting done, though. Next week, a Major League podcast of their own, our own. Whoever's is hitting that MLW 100 on our third episode. Cannot wait. TJ, I'm going to grade your performance this week an A+.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna give you a C minus.
Jeez, I thought you were going to give me like S rank or something, but no, C minus. That's hurtful.
Oh, we're going Resident Evil. Yeah, you get an okay. All right, I'll give you an S rank.
Well, I bring you in, I start a show with you, and look, you pull a Mads. Look at you.
I'm already talking shit.
Where can everyone catch you one more time before we get out of here?
You can catch me at lawmance_ on the old Twitter machine. And that's it, because I'm not giving my Facebook or my Instagram.
I feel like that's going to be your gimmick. Like, we're going to get a shirt.
That might be my gimmick.
We're going to get a shirt up in the store eventually. And you can't have my IG.
That's all private.
You know what's not private? Me on Twitter at TheHibikiTMD. That red button down below here on YouTube. Hit it. Subscribe for all the goodness, retro gaming, pro wrestling, heavy metal podcasts, all the nerdy, funny bones on your body. We're going to tickle them till you can't take it anymore. And ProWrestlingJournal.com, the official podcast network. Thank you once again, my man Drew Ortman, featuring us on here. Check out all these fantastic writers. If it happened in a ring, They're your goddamn thing. Until next week, a Major League podcast of our own. See you then.